Crime is cool in movies and video games. I swear I'm not responsible for the great Canadian maple syrup heist.
You got me.
But seriously, a lot of my favorite things fit somewhere, at least loosely, into the crime genre. It offers you the thrill of pulling off something illegal without you actually having to do something illegal yourself. This is especially true of heist movies. Ocean's 11, Reservoir Dogs, Point Break, Baby Driver.
Retarded means slow. Was he slow?
No.
Then you don't sound retarded to me.
There's a thrill to watching elaborate robbery plans being masterfully pulled off, or a sense of excitement from a caper going tits up, increasing the stakes significantly. It's a lot of fun. It's a given then that games will try to emulate crime movies, and there's a decent bunch of them that do it pretty well. From GTA, Thief, Mafia, Sleeping Dogs, fucking Sly Cooper.
Sly? I'm trying to sneak around, but Murray is dummy thick, and the clap of his ass cheeks keeps alerting the guards.
There's a lot of games that let you be a dirty crime boy, but I don't think any of them have come as close to the sheer exhilarating feeling of crime movies, except for one, the absolute celebration of the genre as a whole, that is Payday.
I said it's fucking Payday, motherfucker!
Alright, Ramblers, let's get rambling.
Payday is fucking ridiculous in all the best ways possible. It's an absolute crackpot mix of stealth game mechanics, wave-based gunplay, and influences ranging all the way from Tarantino movies to goddamn CSGO maps. It's a product of things that inspired it, and wears that fact proudly on its sleeve. Developed by Overkill Software on a game engine no one has ever heard about, which generated a whole 13 games no one has ever heard about, the fact that Payday has become such a popular co-op game is nothing short of a miracle. Since dropping in 2013, it has grown a dedicated following and planted itself firmly in Steam's top 100 most played games. So, you must be asking yourself, what exactly makes Payday so good? Well, I'm glad you asked, disembodied chorus of voices inside of my head. The game offers a diverse range of heists, sometimes borderline nonsensical and very loosely using the term. I still don't understand what part of cooking meth is supposed to be an armed robbery, but crime is crime, I guess. At one moment you might find yourself and up to 3 of your friends attempting to pull off a standard run-of-the-mill bank robbery, then going for a bigger bank, and a bigger one, and suddenly you're getting airlifted in front of the White House mere moments from breaking into old Sleepy Joe's stomping grounds in order to indefinitely borrow enough presidential pardons for you and the boys. You might have gotten a bit too silly and or goofy for your own good. Nah, I'm sure I'll be fine. I mean, what's the worst that can happen with a team like the Payday Gang? We got everyone but a kitchen sink up in this motherfucker. Dallas from Texas to Chicago, the most sane Swedish man, Pickle Chains, and Alex Turner from the fucking Arctic Monkeys. At least that's the core crew, not to list out the remaining 14 playable characters. All I'm gonna say is that they somehow got Scarface, John Wick, and H3H3 in the same fucking game. I don't know whose dicks Ulf Anderson and Amir Listo had to suck for that to happen, but after you choose your favorite clown masked psychopath, you're gonna want to figure out a plan. There's a couple options, all equally pulled right out of a shitty B-side movie that you just can't help but to love, depending on what heist you're going for. Want to go for a quick and easy jewelry store hit? You got it. Want to go for your best Snake impression and raid a mercenary warehouse on the cover of night? Just make sure you don't break your knees going down the sewers. How about dropping a giant piggy bank through a roof for expedited drill delivery?
We dropped the piggy bank. We dropped the piggy bank. Piggy bank. Huh.
Amazon sure is getting creative with their shipping methods. Stealth is my preferred way of playing. Not that I'm any good at it. Oh god.
What have you done?
Oh
my. You have been found.
Oh shit!
You have been really found. What the fuck? What happened?
My day be so fine, then boom, 14 fucking guards in my vicinity. Oh, screw you. Uh-oh. Oh no! Oh no!
He's off on a fucking journey!
The fucking pager alerting session. Told you.
About that.
Who up alerting their pagers? Oh my god, are you serious? Oh, fuck off, man.
What's
oh,
that?
fuck off, man.
Is that a pager?
Yup.
Motherfucker.
See, unlike most stealth games, Payday's not particularly built to be a stealth game, and yet it somehow has ended up being one of my favorite examples of the genre.
Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
Okay, hear me out. The point of a stealth mission is to remain undetected. That's still true, obviously, until it isn't, but that's not the point right now. How you play stealth remains up to you, but it normally just boils down to staying in a disguise or behind cover and eventually killing everyone that does spot you. Obviously, that's a gross understatement, an oversimplification of some games that have particularly good stealth mechanics, but it's true for games like Hitman. It almost completely diminishes any form of thought or skill required to stay under the radar. How does Payday fix this then? Well, it's complicated. One of the things done very well is the detection meter. It's concise and easy to follow. Don't let it rise to the top or things might go down terribly. Keyword might, because unlike in other games where being spotted nearly always guarantees a level restart,
What unit are you with? I see.
Help me! You gotta help me!
there's a period of leeway where guards won't shoot you or try to alert anyone else. This is when you peacefully subdue them and the pager system comes in. See, to solve the kill everybody just to be safe problem, Payday limits the amount of guards you're able to kill before your ass gets too suspicious or the operator's gotten bored of getting rickrolled for the umpteenth time.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and desert you.
Basically, only kill 4 guards, or whoopsie daisy, 7 mistakes, 5 blunders, 3 misdemeanors, 2 felonies, treason against the state. So, how are you going to be avoiding getting caught? Hiding behind lampposts, silly. No, I'm dead serious. Someone decided that it was a good idea for detection to be entirely in the head. What that means is that as long as they don't see your face or you can't see theirs, you might as well not fucking exist. This is exactly why this game's not built for stealth. It's broken beyond belief. You literally crouch and jump repeatedly like a manic frog from hiding spot to hiding spot. There is no world in which this should work, but it does and I love it. It's paradoxical to me, because if Payday was a stealth-only game, I'd probably hate everything about it. But make it an option, and you've just invented peak. I am literally a victim of the illusion of free choice. Heists like Shadow Raid, Breaking Feds, and Framing Frame are really cool covert operations that make for immersive set pieces. At least for how immersive this bullshittery can get. There's a thrill to be had from getting away with stealing fuckloads of expensive shit without anyone noticing. Almost no one. Otherwise, it's usually way more efficient to complete the heist stealthily rather than going in guns blazing. But that being said, maybe stealth isn't really your style, or you fucked up a perfect run of it. Well, fear not, there's no problem a few bullets can't fix. Like, seriously, they keep sending the whole army after the Payday gang in waves and still can't manage to get rid of them. Personally, I just wouldn't go into work in the morning if I knew how many police officers have tried stopping these motherfuckers only to be turned into Swiss cheese. But I'm not the one in the receiving end of the shotgun turned flamethrower, so fuck if I care. Rain empty, we shoot. Loud heists is where the customization fun really begins. Whereas stealth builds are kinda locked behind a certain meta that you're forced to use to be most efficient, loud builds are not as limited. For example, dozers are one of Payday's most fearsome enemy types. So, what better way to fight against such a threat if not to become it? There's multiple types of armor you could equip, depending on how much of your mobility you want to trade for survivability. I say go big or go home though, so it's the ICTV for today. Armor builds are the quintessential loud loadout most new players will be enticed by, and for good reason. It's the bread and butter of becoming a cop-killing machine. See that? That's your standard assault rifle. All reliable, but as dependable as it may be, Payday offers a lot more. Like several DLC packs worth of more. There's so many weapons in this game you might think it's Walmart. Get creative. Barbecues are in season. How about some Robin Hood ass shit? Or a comically large spoonful of brain damage? That's That's one of my favorites. A lot of heists have got you running all over the place, and this armor slows you the hell down. Usually, you'd think going into a gunfight in just a suit would be a bad idea, and you'd be right. But pair it up with a bunch of perks that turn you into an untouchable, slippery evasion machine, and you've got my favorite loud build variant. In addition to your health, stealth, and armor, there's a third dodge stat that affects your agility and avoiding gunfire altogether. There's no need for armor when you just don't get fucking hit. And that's not where your options end. In fact, as long as you take the time to make a build around it, you can essentially make any type of weapon work just as well. Where loud gameplay falls short is with its terrible artificial difficulty increases. What do I mean by artificial? Well, difficulty is a complex thing when it comes to games. Making gameplay harder without the player wanting to bash their head against their desk isn't easy. To make a difficult game fun takes a lot of deliberation, putting the player's skills to the test by having them use all they know about the mechanics of the game in a satisfying way that makes them feel accomplished once they've overcome the challenge. Almost like cracking a puzzle, you know? While stealth heists have the innate difficulty of trying to complete your goal without getting caught lacking, loud essentially amounts to turning your brain off and shooting. All this to say, the wave-based shooting gallery thing gets kinda annoying at higher difficulties. There's nothing new about how the game works past Overkill, what the line between annoying and still fun to play is somewhat blurred. Enemies just become bullet sponges with the same dumbass AI they have on normal or hard. It becomes a matter of bumping up HP, damage numbers, spawn rates, and nothing else. So, do yourself a favor and don't go for the psychological horror that is a death sentence for one down-out heist. It's not worth it. There's a lot more I could talk about regarding Payday's gameplay, from individual perk decks to specific heists and so on, but this video is already getting pretty long. Hey! See, you're already struggling to pay attention. Here, have some Subway Surfers gameplay. I think it's time we move on. We've got a plot to talk about. That's right. You thought this game was just about robbing banks all willy-nilly? Of course not. We've got lore. Oh yeah. This game's got a fucking story. It's all over the place and shoved to the side, but what's there is absolutely insane, and I'll probably make it sound even more insane while I go through it at breakneck speeds. So, basically...
Let's get scratching.
An anonymous Reddit moderator known only as Bane runs what essentially is a deep web social media for criminals called crime.net. Very original. He enlisted the titular Payday gang, made up of the 4 original members, Dallas, Wolf, Chains, and Hoxton. Together, they perform a crime spree throughout the US, in a bunch of banks and becoming enemies with Murky Water, a private military group that pretends to be a shipping organization. Around the same time, the gang gets their hands on ancient Mayan gold? Okay, don't ask questions. It only gets stranger from here.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
They sell a part of this gold to a man named Hector, who they also do a couple of jobs for. Meanwhile, the fact that Bane and the lads just somehow got their hands on Mayan gold piques the attention of a certain shady organization, which will become a running theme here. They lay low following the wild ride. However, Hoxton is sold out and put into custody. There's now an imposter among the gang, and Dallas's brother Houston replaces the 4th member, taking up the mask and moniker of Hoxton.
No! That is not
Hoxton. This is where Payday 2's story actually begins. The gang sets up shop in Washington, D.C. and acquires a few contracts through CrimeNet, namely the Elephant, a Republican senator that wants them to rig an election,
and votes.
and Vlad, a batshit crazy Ukrainian bloke who does whatever the fuck Vlad does. The gang successfully rigged the election per the Elephant's request, and Bob McKendrick becomes mayor of the Washington, D.C. area. We've somehow gone from robbing a jewelry store to electoral fraud in about 0.5 nanoseconds. The storytelling whiplash in Payday is fucking ridiculous. However, it does show how meteoric the gang's rise to the top of the criminal underworld is, and it's exactly this level of skill presented by the gang which garners the attention of Gustavo fuck.
I think that you're confusing me for someone.
I mean, the dentist. Yeah, Overkill somehow got none other than Giancarlo Esposito of Breaking Bad fame to be a part of this hot mess. I don't even know how they do it anymore, but this character's introduction gives us the best line spoken in cinematic history.
You see, I need my payday, too.
The dentist is incredibly fond of pre-planning, to the point where he won't stop talking about it, and so we get the pre-planning system. Moreover, the gang's new ally seemingly has a plan to break Hoxton out of prison, however he won't act on it until they do a couple of jobs for him.
I want you to work for me.
For some odd reason, the dentist is oddly fond of boxes and needs the group to steal one from the world's smallest and emptiest casino. I don't think the diesel engine would be able to handle anything more than this. He also wants an allegedly cursed diamond? I don't know what this guy's cooking, but I guess anything goes if it means breaking our favorite northerner out of jail. So fast forward a couple heists later, and we're finally at the Hoxton breakout. Now with Hoxton back, everyone can forget about Houston, and we're on to finally getting revenge on whoever ratted him out. Ratted him out? Well, there's a heist called Rats. That'd be too easy, wouldn't it? Oh. It is him. It's fucking Hector, isn't it? The gang pay him a friendly visit at one of his homes, and, well, let's just say it doesn't end well. Now with the whole gang back together, Commissioner Garrett and Captain Winters are stationed in DC in order to finally crack down on the copious levels of crime in the area, while Murky Water make Locke, their cybersecurity expert, work overtime in order to pull the plug on CrimeNet. Surprise, surprise, neither of those methods work. This is where things start to get bizarre. Garrett gets some emails from a shady organization placing a bounty on Bane. This organization is the Kataru. Skip forward a while later, and a heist gone wrong leads to the Kataru kidnapping Bane and holding him ransom, promising Commissioner Garrett to hand him over in exchange for a coffer he just so happens to have for some fucking reason. The same type of coffer that the dentist had his eyes on in the Golden Green Casino. If you haven't gathered by now, there's a conspiracy going on here. Clearly, these strange boxes have some sort of meaning, so what best to do than steal it right from under their noses and see what happens. I'm sure things can get much worse.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
Locke also conveniently locates the last of the boxes from Murky Water contact, and the gang storms Henry's Rock in order to acquire it. While on Henry's Rock, the gang also spots Kento, the dentist, and Bane, confirming their suspicions that it is all connected. The crew manages to discover where Bane is kept, and the rescue mission is on. The Hell's Island it is. While on the island, the gang fights hordes of enemies in an attempt to break Bane out and finally get some answers as to what the hell is going on. The dentist taunts them over the intercom, talking about how he's already won and there's no harm to his plan if Bane is rescued. They break him out of his cell and rush for a helicopter escape, with Locke carrying him all the way. Bane comments on how he's in critical condition, having been infected by the same virus the Payday gang stole a sample of during the No Mercy heist. At this point, it seems Bane is inevitably going to die. His last wish is to see the gang succeed in the greatest heist of all, hitting the White House in order to get their hands on enough presidential pardons to guarantee every member of the group gets off scot-free after the escapades are finally over. They get to the secret vault underneath the presidential home and finally wipe away their criminal records. The game ends with the group somewhere in Mexico, holding a funeral for their deceased handler and comrade as they all throw away their masks into his grave, paying their respects, and leave one by one. The Kataru's plans still undeciphered, uncertainty looms as the Payday gang gets their bittersweet ending. No longer criminals, but living with the guilt of being unable to prevent whatever their greatest enemy is planning. Oh, you thought the video was over? We can't end it like that. Come on now. No, let's rewind it. Payday 2 actually has a secret ending, the product of an ARG, an in-game scavenger hunt, which takes the players on an insanely complicated multi-step search. This will have you playing a set of specific heists in order to unlock the items required to proceed, such as the coffers. Then play a little jingle on Scarface's piano and learn how to read Minecraft enchantment table in order to decipher a list of achievements logged behind riddles which you need to complete to even start the secret. After you spend a solid 80 in-game hours completing this wild goose chase, you'll be off once more to the White House. However, this time, we're not headed for the pardons, but a secret vault under the White House, which is locked by a seal with the same strange gibberish as the obsidian artifact back at the safe house. Once you get inside, after probably hours of pure anguish, you're met with the dentist, who has taken Locke and Bane hostage. You learn he, along with the elephant and fucking Vlad, because of course he would be, are the three kings of the Kataru, making them essentially immortal beings who secretly ruled over the world for millennia or something like that. I'm not quite sure. Anyway, we're done with this shit now, so you dome him in the head. So much for being immortal. Now we're finally going full circle as you and your squad begin inserting the mind gold the gang got their hands on all the way back at the start into the strange structure, activating it. And it's over. The dentist is dead, foiling his and the Kataru's plans while the Payday crew go on a much needed and deserved holiday. And thus, we get our beach episode. The gang are now unbelievably fucking rich and safe from ever getting put into custody or being on the radar of a secret underworld organization that has dealings with the supernatural. The cutscene ends with our original four watching Garrett and Winters being awarded the Medal of Valor for doing fuck and all, and the president gives a speech to the American people.
It is now time for our country to heal, to come together as a people. As individuals, we have opened many doors to fortune. Now it's time to open our hearts. We must leave these trying ordeals behind us and follow our forebears to make this country not one or two, but 3 times as strong for future generations, so that when we go to bed at night, each and every citizen of this great nation will have earned their pay. America, let's do this.
That's right, he said, let's do this. One of Bane's most iconic lines, heavily implying that the structure under the White House has somehow transferred Bane into the president's body, saving him from the virus. Now that's what I'm talking about. Everyone gets the happy ending, and Payday 2 is finally over. Or is it?